A lot has happened since we saw each other in the last episode. Some good, some not so good. But January is over, and we do have new players. Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 6 of our Director of Football Challenge. I'm Mr. Cellophane. If you've been enjoying the series so far, make sure you hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're going to get to the results of the matches in just a little bit, but first, we need to talk about the players that have come in since we last saw each other. The first is a 17-year-old midfielder by the name of Bradley Smith. He's a bit inconsistent. He's a bit not versatile, only able to play the central midfield position. He's playing on our U18s. What he does bring to the table is a playmaking ability. His vision is fantastic. He's got good first touch as well. He's pretty fit and a decent amount of pace for this level. Sadly, at the youth level, he hasn't really done any playmaking. 6 appearances, no goals, no assists. Going slightly out of order to stick with the U18s, we brought in another 17-year-old, a striker named Harry McClendon. He is a little bit better in my estimation. He's got a ton of potential. Good first touch. His heading ability is great, even though he's not super good at getting up in the air, but at 6 foot. He likes that target forward role. Very good with his feet. He's a very technical player as well, and his training rating is pretty good recently. Again, the consistency, a bit of an issue. But Jesus did find us yet another midfielder for the first team. 22-year-old Max Haygarth. He is a balanced personality, which for Jesus seems to be a really good thing. He's a decent National League player rated already, which means that he is technically better than our level. Kind of close to his full potential, but I like his potential. Slightly injury prone. Doesn't like the big matches. And he's inconsistent. I think we are hitting a theme here. We played 6 matches since we last saw each other, and unfortunately, the one against South Shields seemed to have been the anomaly. Dan Creaney, putting in a back post header in the 12th minute, would be the first of 4 he would score against us. We did tie things up on this goal. Great pass across, Naaman to Coyle from McClintock, past Ronaldo to make it 1-1 in the 18th minute, but the second half was basically all Tamworth and all Dan Creaney. Through ball through, slicing through our defense past Weaver. Weaver was terrible in this one yet again. However, he wasn't nearly as lost at sea. He just was not making the plays. Creaney's third in the 83rd minute. We would make it 3-2 as Coyle put a ball through Meyer with a great first touch, getting past Willits and sliding it beyond Ronaldo. But in stoppage time, deep final third throw-in, Creaney flicking on the header near post over the outstretched arm of Weaver. All 4 of Tamworth's goals came from Creaney. We lost the first of back-to-back against them, first on Boxing Day and then on New Year's Day. We had a slightly better time of it at home. Beautiful ball forward, Marr into the middle, finding Gabriel Overton. He ended up with a hat trick in this one. Tamworth would pull even, though, just a couple of minutes later as Shikuna throwing it in, deflecting off of the defender. Unlucky, if you ask me. But then Meyer and Overton were going to hook up for the second consecutive time in this match to make it 2-1. Off of a final third throw-in, Akwe made it 2-2. Meyer blasts one in from the free kick from about 26 yards out, picking out the top corner absolutely beautifully to give us a 3-2 lead. We would make it 4 as Overton picked up his third of the match, but then Tamworth would charge back in the second half. Less than a minute later, they are first of 2. Mines with a grass cutter from outside of the D made it 4-3. And then Milnes once again, this time from the penalty spot, tying things up. So unfortunately, we couldn't hang on to the lead, but at least we were playing just that little bit better. We would, however, remain in our funk, losing 2-1 to Chester, and then dropping a decision at home to Spennymoor by the exact same score. Thankfully, we would turn things around at home against Hereford. Another ball over the top to Marr. Another squared pass to Overton in the 6th minute to make it 1-0 Rushall, and once again, it was the Gabriel Overton show. Coyle this time putting in the middle, picking out Meyer. Overton, though, would score 3 goals in this one. Meyer would add a second, almost exactly like the last free kick he was able to score, making it 3-0. It was 4 as Overton got the ball in behind the defense, puts it short side against Pond. Just 30 minutes had passed, and we were absolutely dominant. Overton adding his third from the penalty spot before the first half was up, but Hereford would come back and chisel away at our lead. A header in the middle, Cisse. I think Weaver should have done a little better with that. Our defense getting a little porous in the second half of this match. Another cross in, Mendez settled down by Cali, laid into the middle to a trailing Babos. 5-2 would be your final score. Very impressive on our part, however, which we would then follow up with a 2-0 victory at home against Kirsten Ashton. Max Haygarth getting his first goal in a Rushall Olympic kit. Sam McClintock adding one in the 68th minute as well. We were all over Kirsten Ashton in this one, and frankly, we should have won by more. So as we get ready to take on Scunthorpe on the road, we find ourselves back into a playoff position, sitting in 7th place after 30 matches. We do have at least a game in hand on every team ahead of us, with the exception of South Shields. We are 14 points off of the top of the table. Things really bunched up behind us, though. Tamworth, Scarborough Athletic, and Alfreton each sitting just 1 point behind. I do love the fact that we are 22 points clear of the relegation zone, which pretty much, while not mathematically true, pretty much means that we are safe and at least remaining in the Vanarama National League North for another year. Now, we have made some slight tactical adjustments, not really to our roles, although we now have our left center midfielder playing as a Mazzala on support. It really suits both Haygarth and Harrison Namon a little bit better. We've also swapped our strike pair. Meyer is now playing as the pressing forward because honestly that role suits him a little better, and Gabriel Overton as our advanced forward because that's the position we promised his coach we would play him in when we took him on loan. I know, yeah, Mitch Clark is unhappy because he wants to play more matches. To be perfectly fair, he is behind Will Squires, he's behind Knight LaBelle, at least in my estimation, and behind Jordan Brown as our 4th choice center back, so we didn't give him what he wanted. He's a little ticked. But for us, that's okay because right now there is nobody on his side. They're all supporting us. So Weaver is going to get the start in goal once again. Our back 4 is going to be Jaden Charles, Jordan Brown, Will Squires, and Callum Sullivan. We've been playing those 4 most of the time, although we've been rotating Knight LaBelle in place of Brown every once in a while. Our midfield 4 is going to be Callum Coyle, Max Haygarth with a goal and an assist in his 4 matches that he's played for us, Sam Mantom, who was man of the match in the last one, and Jordan Masidi on the right side with a strike pair, of course, of Gabriel Overton and Ronan Meyer. Now, I have become acutely aware of the fact that these episodes have been getting a little bit longer and longer, trying to cram in a lot of information. So I've made the executive decision that we are going to go to key highlights instead of extended. So hopefully the matches, while it's my favorite part, hopefully the matches don't take up nearly as much time. Oh, Squires coming so close off of that back post corner. Just could not tuck it inside that near post. The first shot of the match going our way. I'm trying not to edit down the highlights nearly as much, and I really do want to keep the flow of the game, and I want you guys to see as much as possible, but as a result, I mean, episode 4 was, 32 minutes long? So trying to keep things just a little bit more tight and concise for you guys. Hopefully we still see a lot of action, which means that we are scoring a lot of goals. Charles, again, looking back post, this time from the near side, but Campbell is going to claim that and look to send it long as everybody rushes before. I do love that claret and blue. That color combination just viscerally does something for me. Meyer, oh, great first touch to get around the defender. He'll take a shot, but Campbell will deflect that out behind. We're getting a lot of set piece chances here on the road, and the fact that Scunthorpe beat us earlier in the season in the Cup 2-0, and we are actually kind of gelling a little bit and taking it to them, I love it. In fact, so far in this match, 30 minutes in, yeah, they're leading in possession, but we have more shots on goal, more shots on target. So we're taking the opportunities. We're letting them have the ball in areas where it's not really hurting us. And I realize as I say that now, we're watching a Scunthorpe highlight, and they may very well get a very good opportunity here. Evans along the center field line to Denton. Mantum sticking with him, but he's able to get the ball free up the left wing to Wilson, chipping it into the middle, looking for Roberts. Roberts clattering it off of the post. Terrible clearance into the middle. Finally, we're able to get it away, but Clunan putting a shot in. Charles, though, will head that out into touch on the near side. So an early opportunity, their first shot of the match coming, and it came really this close. Great steal by Mantom as Sullivan in control in the midfield, leaving it for Squires, popping it toward the sideline. Meyer will get under it into the middle. He finds Gabriel Overton, but Overton can't beat Campbell. It doesn't matter. He was offside anyway, and the shot itself will not count. But as you look at the stats over there, 4-1 shots on goal, 3 of our 4 shots on target so far. We're leading in XG. We're not leading in possession, but that's okay. One of the things we do have to get a little bit better in is completing passes. Right now, 78% just is not going to cut the mustard. But overall, I would say a very strong first half from Rushall Olympic. I do that all the time. Shouldn't it be? Oh, it's Russell Athletic is the sports company. Team is absolutely chuffed, so I'm not going to pull each of the units aside and have a talk to them at the half. But I think that it's encouraging that we're playing so well on the road, especially because we were beaten so handily by this team the first time through. And I really would like to keep hold on that playoff position for as long as we can. Meyer to Coyle, moving it to his right, looking for options in the box. He'll take it himself, and he almost got that in on goal, but it's going to hit off of the post and go out. A goal kick for Scunthorpe. Still, they have yet to hit the target. Why am I saying that out loud? Of course, they're going to hit the target momentarily. Okay, glad I am wrong. We actually have the throw-in, and we immediately turn it over. What's going on, guys? Elliott looking for Roberts Brown. That was a clean tackle. Oh, my God, they're going to call that a penalty. They are calling that a penalty. He didn't even make contact with the player. And they have had no good opportunities all match long. And now Scunthorpe is up 1-0. Whitehall converting the penalty, his 21st goal of the season. Scunthorpe 1, Rushall 0. I mean, that just absolutely cheeses me off. I can't believe that. Overton's not having the greatest match, although Meyer is anxious, but we're going to bring in Andre Landell, move Meyer into that advanced forward position. Jaden Charles also feeling a little anxious. I don't really have anyone to replace. I mean, I guess Callum Sullivan technically, but then I've got nobody really to replace Callum Sullivan, so we're going to leave our back four alone. We are going to take out Sam Mantom and bring in Harrison Naiman. Bit of an unfamiliar position for him. He can play as our ball-winning midfielder. He just doesn't a lot, and now we're even on shots with Scunthorpe. We've still hit the target way more than they have. The only time that they took a shot that went within the frame of the goal, it was that dang penalty, and that looks like it may be the difference. We're going to go a little bit more attacking here. I'm not 100% sure what we can do. We're going to substitute Callum Coyle off and bring in Sam McClintock, and that's it for our changes. Possession is tilted a little bit towards us, which ain't great, and that just means we've gotten away from the way that we play the game, and a match we should have won, denied by the Danny Whitehall penalty, and Scunthorpe beats us 1-0. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to worry too much about it. We are still in a very good position. I'm still very happy where we are. We're going to replace Sam Mantom with Alex Moore. Now, Moore, we ended up not keeping the promise to him about playing him more earlier, so he's been griping a little bit in the press. Ironically, he's going to be our captain for this match, but hey, that is what it is. Brown's also going to be replaced by Knight LaBelle just to get a little variety in there. And Mr. Coyle will come out, be on the bench, and we are going to have Sam McClintock start as our left wing. So those are the changes that we are going to make. We're taking on Farsley Celtic, by the way, if I hadn't mentioned that already. They are 23rd on the table. So this is a classic example of a match that we should absolutely be winning, a team we should be dominating. And if we don't, then we've got really, that's when we're showing the cracks. I mean, Scunthorpe would have been nice to have won that match. They were second on the table. The only issue that I have is, so we have dropped down into 8th place Now, a win today will probably propel us right back into that playoff spot. But having lost against Scunthorpe, we were, at the time, 9 points below 6th place and 5th, to be perfectly frank. So the gap between the teams above us starting to widen, while meanwhile things tightening up on the other side. Cleared away, punched away off of the corner. Sullivan's got it. He's got a lane, and he's got his 3rd of the year. Jordan Masidi feeding Callum Sullivan, and it's Farsley 0, Rushall 1. What is truly going to be the key for us this season is taking advantage of those set-piece opportunities. I feel like we've, not in this save, but I feel like we kind of have gotten away from that. Either things have been tweaked to the point with Football Manager and the various match engines where the corner tactics that we've been using and have been successful with for the longest time just aren't working anymore. Or maybe it's just we have the right personnel for the system that has been set up by our set-piece coach. I would like to believe, well, we don't really have a set-piece coach, the coach handling set pieces. I would like to believe in this case it is the latter. That way I don't feel so bad about my ability to set up a successful set-piece tactic. Point is, I'm glad we were scoring on them just a bit more. McClintock with space in the middle, throwing it wide. Masidi, Overton charging in. How did he miss it? It went off of the crossbar, off of the back of the goalkeeper, and Farsley Celtic still able to clear it away. Now we've got the 1-0 lead, so not going to fuss too much about not scoring. Hopefully, though, it does not come to bite us in the butt. Great cross by Carroll. Dealt with pretty easily by Squires, but it's in the path of Smith. Into the middle, Stevenson off of the crossbar. Okay, things are even now. I got to say, I feel much better clanking the ball off of the woodwork if the other team is going to do the same thing. Although officially in the stats, they didn't count that, and I'm wondering why. Long clearance, one back by Charles to Meyer. Haygarth quickly to Overton. Overtaken by Evans. Gets his pocket picked, and Carroll will just leave it back for his goalkeeper. Now let's see if Liban is going to go long again, and if he'll turn it over again. He goes long, and we win it back, so that's fine. McClintock, though, playing it to softly, and here comes Farley Celtic the other way. Stevenson into the near corner, a bit deep. Carroll, edge of the box, in for Donaldson, and he blasts it past Weaver for his 4th of the year. And Farsley Celtic ties things up at 1 late in this first half. And this is, well, we've got to do better here, guys. I mean, we had Stevenson bottled up, but Carroll not played well by McClintock, able to pick out Donaldson, and Weaver just ineffective in, I don't know, I really don't know if there's much he could have done. I'd like to believe as a professional goalkeeper, maybe he could. I know I wouldn't have been able to make that save, but then again, I'm a middle-aged man sitting in front of a computer playing football instead of being out on a pitch somewhere playing football. Not really inspiring with our halftime team talk, so hopefully that is not a portent of bad things. Ball missed by Meyer, but picked up by Masidi. Lays it back for McClintock, going back to Meyer, over the top, taking it deep. 2 men on him. Gets it clear. Sullivan, a man in the middle. Haygarth will blast it home, his 2nd of the year. What a pass by Callum Sullivan. He's got a goal and an assist, and Rushall Olympic has a 2-1 lead. I mean, really, I just felt this coming. Sullivan, look how wide open Haygarth is, and he just puts his leg through it, past Liban. Nothing the Farsley goalkeeper could have even dreamed of doing that. And so, see, that's the kind of goal. Like, if you score that goal, or if that goal was scored against us, you just know that the goalie is powerless. Whereas the one Weaver gave up, I felt like he could have been and should have been in a position to get a piece of it, and he just wasn't. Sullivan, once again, in control. We've played 50 minutes, playing it into the middle, looking for Overton. Misamba will clear it, but it's gathered by Haygarth. One thing we are doing is getting to those loose balls pretty well. That's what I love about this team. Charles looping it in. I think that was maybe a cross for Overton, and it was overcooked a little bit. It will clatter off of... See, now that they counted as woodwork, even though there was no way that was going in. It hit the top of the crossbar, and I don't understand Football Manager anymore. I do think we're going to need to make some subs with just over 20 minutes left to go. Gabriel Overton with a 6.2. It's his 2nd consecutive match with a poor rating, so we're going to make the same change. Move Meyer over to the left. Bring in Andre Landell. Alex Moore feeling complacent, so he can he can get out. Harrison Namon will take his place. And once again, we really don't have a solution, but Callum Sullivan, he's played a lot of football. We're only a couple of days removed from the Scunthorpe loss, so we're bringing Jordan Brown. He'll be slightly out of position, but he's a grown man. He can take it. He's a professional, and I think he's going to do a good job for us. Pretty even on shots, 13-11 in favor of Farsley. Corner kick, Charles in. LeBon coming off of his line outside the 6-yard box to collect that one fairly easily. Sam McClintock not really getting a lot done in this match, which kind of surprises me because he has been pretty strong in the matches he has played for us. At least it feels that way. It always feels like he's getting involved somehow, but I really don't see him. I haven't really called his name maybe once or twice in this match. Haygarth, got a little fancy with it and ultimately lost possession. Atkinson in. Oh my God. If that had gone in, so help me God, that was terrible play from Jake Weaver. And maybe Jake Weaver's time as our starting goalkeeper is over. Although we all know what we have on the bench in Teddy Maris, but honestly, Teddy Maris has he's given us some. He's made 3 appearances, 2 of them in relief, only given up 3 goals. He's got a clean sheet and a 7.33 rating in the league. Maybe Teddy Maris gets to start our next match. Maybe we'll give him a run of matches off camera and see how he does to see if whether we go with Maris or Weaver in the next live comm. Minute left of stoppage time, and we get a highlight. Sent forward, one by us, one back by them. Donaldson will lay it to Alan, who gets it back a second time. Up for Yumbi. Alan looking to go over the top. Yumbi will chase it down. He'll keep it in, play it into the middle, and it's headed on by Connor Branson. And there goes our 3 points. Connor Branson, unbelievable. This is actually the primary reason why I use extended highlights instead of key highlights, because I feel like too many of the highlights on key highlights, you just know the goal is coming. So when the ball was thrown forward by Farsley, I just knew deep down in my heart of hearts that we were going to give up the goal that was going to equalize it. And frankly, statistically speaking, this was a fairly even match, but we were definitely the better team in this one. And I think they were very fortunate to escape with a point instead of dropping all 3. And those are 3 points we desperately needed. The good news is we remain in 8th place. We are just a point out of a playoff spot, but you can see that separation. 60 points on the board for Gloucester, Spennymoor, and Buxton in 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively. We do have a 2-point cushion now over Tamworth and Alfreton, although both of those teams have games in hand on us. So stay tuned. We could drop as far as 11th, maybe 10th. I'll do my math sometime off camera. We have our youth intake coming up in probably a month or so we will come back for that and whatever games we've got after that. Well, that's what we're going to bring you in the next episode. If you've enjoyed the series so far, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it and having a lot of fun putting it together for you. Make sure you hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel. New videos coming out in this series on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You can also catch Red Rain, our Build a Nation save in Albania. We've got a new season popping up every Monday and Friday at the same time. Thanks so much for being here. I will catch you next time. Until then, bye-bye.